see what we got here. All right. Well, let's see. A little bit time, I guess. All right. Well, if you're on and you can hear me, throw me a note there in the comments. Get rid of some of this. Hopefully, everybody can hear me. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. If you can hear me, drop me a note there in the comments. I'd appreciate it. But if not, we'll go ahead and get started. Looks like got a few of you on, so I'm gonna go ahead and start tearing this thing apart. Tell you a little bit about it here in just a quick minute. But more importantly, I guess I want to talk about SEMA. So, rat rods. I guess that means you can hear me. I appreciate that, man. So, I'm going to start tearing this thing apart. Anyway, while we're tearing this thing apart, it's not really the main reason I wanted to do this. But I did want to talk about next week for SEMA. For those of you that don't know, next week is SEMA week. It starts on Tuesday, it goes through Friday. I will be out there, I think, fairly early on Sunday, and then I think I'm out on Thursday afternoon. I'm a little flexible on my out time, so we'll just have to see. But I think right now my flights are out on Thursday, so usually stick around and do the banquet, the SEMA banquet on Thursday night. But this year, I just don't know what the show is going to look like, so we'll have to see what happens. So. But anyway, I do know that SEMA this year is going to look a lot different than what it normally does. Um, just by looking and following the registration online, as far as man, this thing's clean. Just by looking at the registration online, it is going to be a very, very small show. And by small show, I think normally SEMA gets around 2,500, 2,800, somewhere in there. Booths, I'm not sure on that. I'll have to look that up to make sure. But I think this year they're around 1,300, a little over 1,300. So the size of the show is going to be very small in comparison to what it normally is. So. One of the reasons why I'm rebuilding this for somebody is they said it was leaking and they couldn't figure it out, and I can tell right now that that seal in the back isn't really in that tight. So but we'll keep tearing it apart. But it is pretty spotless on the inside of this thing. So I have no idea. I do like that Holley got rid of those O-rings that they used to have years ago, because they always leaked, and they made this cup style um, that fits over the transfer tube in the back, and it really just makes a very, very nice seal. and it, the one in the back looks like it's sticking out a little bit further than what I'd normally like to see. So, but anyway, back to SEMA. Um, yeah, okay. All right. Let me get rid of that. All right. So, anyway, we'll go talk. We'll get back to SEMA. Holley's not going to be there this year. It's kind of odd. I'm tearing apart a carburetor. Um, but Holley is one of the brands that will not be there. That is a pretty big piece of news for anyone that attends that show. Holley's booth is 60 by 80, maybe bigger. Not exactly sure the footprint. I'd have to look back at past years to see, but they they're a I think other than the GM booth, the Ford booth, maybe Toyota or Nissan, whoever's buried in the back of that central hall that I don't go to very often. They're one of the biggest booths, completely pulled out of the show. I'm sure it's COVID related, but I don't know it's because of that they're afraid of their people and their staff there with the COVID potential there. I think they're more concerned about that the crowd's not going to be there, and certainly attendance is down. That's usually 90 to 100,000 people that attend that show, but I think it's going to be much smaller than that this year, and maybe that's what they're concerned about is investment on the dollar. It is very very expensive, those booths at the SEMA show. So I am only assuming that's probably a primary reason. This thing does not look bad at all. I don't think it was run for very long. We'll find out. But yeah, so let's see. But yeah, so I am assuming that that's the primary reason. Holley not going to be at the show. Huge booth gone. K&N. They usually have a fairly substantial booth, even though it's just filters and the whatnot. But yeah, that booth is gone. They're not going to be there this year. Here's the funny thing about SEMA is um, that show goes by seniority. So the more seniority you have, the further or the better booth spot you can get. Um, the more years attended, the your booth space selection goes up. The other side of that is SEMA a couple of years ago. Well, maybe it's been longer than that, but I think they really started enforcing it. 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. That if you had a if you had a 50 by 60 booth space and you decided, one year that you were going to downgrade to a 40 by 40. Well, the next year you couldn't go back up to your bigger booth space. If you go down, you can go down, but you can never go back up. And that's a pretty big deal to anybody uh, that grows like Holley did. I think they allowed them to go up a little bit because of the consolidation of booth spaces, but I think their overall footprint went down. So kind of an interesting deal. EPA sucks. Well, yeah, I don't I don't disagree with that. That's for sure. But yeah, Holley, K&N. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. Aeromotive, Center Force, UMI, which I don't know if they ever. I don't. I'm sure that they have space there, but Painless, American Auto Wire. I'm trying to think of the ones this past week when I was putting together my show planner of places that I need to go while I was there, all not attending this year. So I guess when you have 1,000 less, booths there, it's going to be you're going to lose some of those. One interesting thing, which I will try to do over there, it's the South Hall, Upper South Hall, always had the truck accessory guys, which is fine. I don't knock them. I've spent a lot of time in that hall over the years, but it's just really not my thing. Um, that is no longer in the South Hall. It moved over to the new West Hall. So I'll go check that out. It's supposed to be pretty state of the art. It's got some pretty cool audio visual type stuff in the lobby. But yeah, I've never seen it, so I don't I don't know what it looks like. I guess they showed it off in July for the installation banquet for the new Hall of Fame members, and the councils and networks do a thing there in July. But yeah, I haven't seen it yet. So we'll talk about schedule in just a minute. But yeah, kind of an interesting deal. Um, with all the folks that aren't going to be there. So it is kind of interesting. Um, if you've paid for booth space there, um, it's expensive. It's very, very, very expensive. Um, you know, not only just the actual square footage, which is your highest expense, but the cost of your booth and putting all that together is usually fairly robust. So I can see why there's those big companies that have backed out of there, um, but yeah, I don't blame them. But yeah, it's kind of hard to miss that show, especially after it was not around in 2020. Man, this thing is clean. Huh. Well, he did say it was leaking, which I get it. I mean, I would be frustrated too with a Holley, but they do tend to have a little bit more leakage. But I don't think he ran this for very long at all. I mean, it's pretty spotless on the inside. I don't know if you can really see that very well, but not really, I guess. But pretty spotless for an old Holley or for a young Holley. I didn't look at the date code off of it, but it's pretty clean. 615 Customs, buddy. I appreciate you stopping by, man. Hope all is well with you. See if I can break this loose without doing the old. But yeah, I need a smaller screwdriver. Mountain Dew tonight, unfortunately. YouTube got pretty upset with me for, I don't say upset, but they demonetized a couple of my live streams because I guess I talked about BER too much, or an adult beverage, and I guess they didn't like that, so we'll get back into that after we get off of here. But anybody that's on Patreon that's bought me an adult beverage, oh, trust me, I have used that for its full benefit. So I appreciate my Patreon folks that have bought me an adult beverage. Trust me, I definitely put it to good use. Man, I don't know what. I don't think this carburetor is really ran all that long. It's a little sticky getting the metering block out of here, but I'm gonna guess it hasn't been run all that long. But I guess when it's leaking, why would you run it? So I can tell you that they didn't do any tuning on it. What jet is in here? Can't tell. But I'll rebuild it for him, put it back together, and then I am assuming he's going to get rid of it. So um, because he already put on a different. Yeah, those are in there, so I'm not gonna. Can't find my jet screwdriver anywhere. I found the one that I made, but it really doesn't. It didn't really do it that well, and I don't want to tear these up. But what size are in here? 66, maybe. I don't have my glasses, so I'm assuming that that's it, and that sounds like a pretty reasonable size for this 80457 carburetor. So again, I'm assuming it hasn't been tuned either. So yeah, it does look new. So again, I don't think he had that much runtime on it, but we'll break it down a little bit here. But yeah, SEMA is going to be an interesting show this year with all those folks not attending. But anyway, I will do a live stream next Sunday from SEMA. I've always done, or I've not always, but I've done a few of them. The last one I did was in 2019 when I did it on setup day to show you vehicles moving in and out, what the show floor looks like in chaos. That video did fairly well, or that live stream did fairly well. So I'll do another one. Definitely do one on Sunday, which is the last big movement setup day. Monday is the last full day of setup, but that's usually carpet going down, and most all the manufacturers are pretty much done with their booth setup, placement, and all that. All the vehicles are moved in. If there's anything that's in the booths, and yeah, all the major movements done. But usually Monday is kind of that last day to get all your stuff in and moved around and set up or whatever, and just kind of tweaking and whatever. But yeah, Sunday's always a good day for a live stream because I'll walk that for 15-20 minutes and show you some stuff that you don't normally get to see. You definitely don't get to see it on when all the big um, production stuff goes through there. Um, it's usually all crowds and whatever. It's a little cheesy, so assuming that, but that's on the vent side, so it wouldn't have caused a leak. But but yeah, this hasn't had much fuel run through it. But anyway, but all the stuff that you normally see at SEMA, it's pretty celebrities and all that crap, and which just makes the business side of being a SEMA very, very difficult, because SEMA is a trade show. It's not a car show. Everybody thinks it's a car show. It's really not. It's a business show for the trade to come together to discuss business from the current year and going into next year. New products. I do know there are some really, really cool new products coming out. I did get a chance to get shown a couple of those. I can't talk about it obviously until Tuesday, but Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, something like that, when I walk the hall, I will definitely show you some of the cool new stuff. When I say new, there's nothing that's really new. It's mostly stuff that's been rebuilt, redone, retweaked, whatever, and that's what one of these products are. But it's something very different for this manufacturer, and I'm very eager to get my hands on one of them. One of these, I guess both of them, but really the one that I'm most specialized in, I guess, eager to get my hands on. So, looking forward to showing that to you on Tuesday, which I know there'll be a lot of media that will be focused around that. So, yeah, kind of cool. But yeah, won't be able to show that to you on setup day Tuesdays when it's released. So let me check over here in the comments, see if I got anything. 803 speed. What's happening? I think I'm pretty much caught up. Got a few of you watching, so I definitely appreciate that. But yeah, like I said, that's going to be the big thing for me next week is getting to the show there on Sunday. Like I say, I think my flight leaves out of here fairly early, and I think I'm there in Vegas 10:30, 11. So get a little lunch in me and get over to the convention center and drop my bags there at the west gate, or the waist gate as we all call it. And then yeah, whenever that is, sometime after lunch, I'll start my first live stream from there. So it's always good. Like I said, the chaos there is pretty cool. If you didn't watch last in 2019, I think I started right in front of the South Hall and kind of walked around on the outside. I don't know what that looks like. I haven't looked at the outside plan to see what that all looks like, but I'm fairly sure that that there is the Ford Expedition out front. There's usually some event trailers. There's usually a ton of cars because the outside at SEMA is completely open to the public. You can wander around, see a lot of the cars. There's a lot of exhibits that are out there. McGuire's always has a pretty good deal because Barry McGuire does whatever show that he does live out there. Ford's got a pretty big display out there. I'm trying to think what's around South Hall Way and by the other hotel over there. Some exotics. West Coast Customs usually has a pretty big deal outside. But I'm not sure. I'll have to see the lay of the land when I get there, and I've seen it, online for what the exhibitor map looks like, but I haven't really looked at the outside stuff. But I do know all the folks the exhibitors that had been in the tents outside. I think they moved them all inside, or they moved them into the new West Hall. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what's out there, but trying not to ruin this roll, knocking it off here. Oop, lost something. But, anyway, thanks for stopping by 615 Customs. Always do appreciate that. That's a good channel. If you guys haven't seen that, go check that out. Yeah. Anyway, this is a pretty new carburetor, but again, we'll knock it apart and guess we'll knock the bottom off. It'll be easier to get that bowl off of there. But anyway, that's I just want to talk. Ooh, those are loose. That one was loose anyway. That was a little tighter. But yeah, next week's going to be chaotic. I'm looking forward to it. And then I'll usually, man, some of these are a little loose. But looking forward to it. SEMA's always a fun, man, unless I already broke that one loose. But SEMA's always a really cool deal. Like I say, I love going. It'll be my 25th time or 25th year without last year's show. Last year's show would have been 2020, would have been my 25th year going. So yeah, well, this thing hasn't been run that much. Usually that area right in there is fairly dirty, and it's not. So, but yeah, hopefully you guys are all amped up to see some of that footage. from me and from others. For me, it's selfishly, I hope you watch my live streams, and I usually do a video from all the cars that were on the inside that you don't get to see. SEMA Ignited on Friday night. I know that they're still doing that. I don't know anything about it, this year's deal. I'm not going to be there on Friday, um, so I won't be there. I didn't really do I didn't do a live stream from that last year either. I'm trying to think, or in 2019, I think I left on Friday afternoon early. So yeah, it's clean. I don't think this thing had much runtime on it. It's very clean. Well, somebody's gonna get a nice carburetor for a very, very cheap price. So I'm sure he's gonna have me rebuild it so he can get rid of it, because, like I said, he's already bought another carburetor to put on, so that I have not tuned yet either. So I'm assuming he's got a couple Edelbrocks on some other cars that he's got. So I'm assuming I'll tune whatever he's put on. I think he put a new AVS on. So. But anyway, hopefully you all are amped up about that. I know I am. I'm eager to see what's there. I know that there's a lot of builders that had built stuff or continued to build for 2020, so some of those cars will be there, I'm sure. Maybe some of your other folks that you follow will be there. I don't know about any celebrities. I never follow that, mainly because it's so crowded in that central hall where I spend most of my time. The central hall is the performance hall, what we usually call it, but central hall is where all the big hitters are at. Holley, Edelbrock, Comp. Some of the media guys are there, the GM booths there, the Ford booths in that hall. So man, those boosters are clean too. So interesting. Let's see what the power valve looks like, I guess. But yeah, hopefully you all are excited to see that coverage from this coming week. I know I am. I think that's blown, so there's a 6.5 in it, which doesn't really mean anything. But again, I don't think he tuned it. This stuff looks like it's been off before, so those are usually the gaskets I think that Holley puts on there. They usually put a nice cheap one on the base plate, and then bowl and metering block usually gets the nice one. So, but yeah, there's nothing in here. There's no crap. There's a little bit of the residual stuff that I don't know if you can see that or not. Usually the little residual stuff that ethanol fuel leaves behind, but yeah. So anyway, but yeah, like I said, I know I'm eager to get there to see what's going on and see what the show's going to look like this year, and it's going to be smaller, and that's going to be different to see. That's for sure. So get rid of this crap before. Oh, let's see, how long have I been on here for? 30 minutes. Well, that's not too bad. So anyway, this wasn't going to be too long. I don't have a lot to cover this time. I just wanted to get this carburetor torn down. I'm gonna try to get it done this week, and then yeah, we'll get it rebuilt, give it back to him, and like I say, I'm pretty sure it's going up for sale, or he's already sold it to somebody, because whatever was causing the leak for him certainly didn't make him very confident in this carburetor. But it's not the carburetor's fault. It's just, again, I'll have to look at the date code on see when it was manufactured, but it may have sat on the shelf a little too long, and has had some fuel run through here. That's pretty gnarly. Let's see if we can show you some of that. Anyway, hope you all are doing well. It was a beautiful weekend here. 2 days of 80 degrees and perfect weather, and dogs kept me busy, and I got a lot of stuff done on the GMC. Even worked on the Chevelle a little bit this weekend. So not doing a video this weekend always gives me a little bit of extra time, but yeah, this thing's fairly clean. So again, it's fairly normal for Holleys because they are rich. They tend to leave a lot of fuel deposit behind. So, but yeah, it's clean. So anyway, we'll get it knocked apart the rest of the way and get it put back together for them. And Holleys are fairly easy to adjust and set. But looks like he had the float set fairly low. Maybe he tried to do that to keep whatever flooding he was having, but anyway, we'll knock it apart and see if there's anything in the needle and seat here. But anyway, like I say, hopefully you all had a good week and a good weekend. Like I say, it was beautiful here. Yeah, just normal crappy. Well, that is a little gummy on that O-ring. Don't think that would have caused any trouble though, unless it was pushing fuel past it. I'll have to see where he had his regulator set at. I know he's a disciple, I guess. I hate to say it that way, but he does follow my advice on running a pressure regulator on everything, even though this is pretty much a really stock 85, 87 square body, I think, if I'm thinking of the right one. But yeah, anyway, we shall get that all cleaned up. I'll go buy a kit for it tomorrow, and so yeah, doesn't look too bad. Yeah, it's very clean, so I do not have a clue as to what the issue would have been, but we'll get it cleaned up for him, and he can do whatever he wants for it from there. So anyway, let's see what's in the chat here. Hey, CNC Auto Works. That is a cool channel. If you all want something fun to watch, definitely go go give that guy a look. That Mustang he's building is kind of cool. It's not gonna lie to you. That is definitely a bucket list car of mine. Not that particular one, but that generation. I had a buddy in high school that had a '69 fastback car, and yeah, I fell in love with it then. I went down the GM path, so I have owned very few Fords in my lifetime. Get rid of that. But yeah, he's definitely doing it nice, and floor pans, and yeah, that's some ugly work. I do admire your ability to go tackle that, because the Chevelle, which is literally right behind me, the floor pans aren't bad in it, but they don't need it. It's got some little bit of rust on the rockers and the quarters, but other than that, front fenders had a little bit of rust in it. But that car, if it needed floor pans, shipping it off to somebody else to do it. I'm a coward. I would not do that. So anyway, check CNC Auto Works. That guy's got some cool stuff going for sure. Yeah, no problem at all there, bud. Again, I appreciate you all. Again, no beer. Gotta keep Facebook off my backside. So, like I say, for whatever reason, they demonetized all those videos that I had talked about. I think I just said beer, but I'm 30 minutes in. I don't think they're gonna care. So, Mountain Dew for a few minutes here. But anyway, yeah. So I guess what I will probably do is I will leave a community post on in the community tab here. If there's anything you guys want to see out there at SEMA, my schedule is pretty open this year, so I'm pretty eager to get out there and have some time this time around. Knock that bowl off of there, but yeah, so I'm pretty stoked to have oh, that opportunity this year to. Oh, man, that thing's on there. Have to get the BFH out to knock that thing off there. But yeah, pretty eager to get back out there to SEMA. It's just cool to be there, and again, having done it for so many years, man, that's a little weird. But having done it for so many years, it certainly is fun to be out there and be part of it and be involved with the industry the way I am. It's afforded me a lot of things in my life, and as I get a little older, and well, I still have a few years left to work, and I will certainly miss it when I retire in forever. 15, 20 years, maybe 15 at least, I guess. But it has afforded me a lot of really cool stuff and see a lot of really cool things and be around a lot of really cool people and have a good relationship with some of the founders in the industry, and knowing Vic really well, and Steve Burley a little bit, and some of those guys. I'm not here to name drop. I'm just telling you, I've been honored to have that opportunity because I chose this as a career when I was a pretty young guy, and but yeah, it's been cool to see it. Knock that off there. Anyway, but yeah, it's been fun for sure. I don't know that I would have had the same fun doing the same thing, but or doing something else. But almost got into construction when I was younger. Obviously, some of y'all know I spent a little bit of time in the military. That didn't end the way I wanted to, with a little bit of a medical discharge. Well, not a little bit. It was a medical discharge, but yeah, it was still. I still am very fortunate to have lived the life that I've lived, so I count myself blessed. Man, that thing is clean. Don't know if that'll show up very well on the live stream, but I mean, literally, there's. Oop, sorry if I bumped the camera there. But literally, with a little bit of carb cleaner and wiping it down and some new gaskets, this thing is ready to go back together. I don't think that there's any. I don't think there's really anything wrong with this thing other than figure out why it was leaking fuel. So, but yeah, going back to the show with Holley has a fairly big presence there at the show, and Holley is kind of an interesting deal. I guess I'll have to be interesting to hear what the rumors are when I get there, why they're not there and why K&N's not there, and Center Force and Aeromotive, and I am assuming some of y'all heard me made mention of the Performance Race Industry Show. I think I left either on Instagram or in my community tab here on YouTube. SEMA's cool because it draws all the celebrities in, or all the car or the car show celebrities are always there. It's cool, I guess, but it doesn't. I'm there for business reasons. Same with the PRI show, but The PRI show is the one where all the hardcore race stuff is. Um, SEMA draws in, like I said, all the truck accessory stuff, the paint and body, car audio, electronics, tires and wheels. Um, I think I already said truck accessories. The OEs are always there in full force with cars and that type of stuff. PRI is just the racing stuff, so it's all the drag race, dirt track, machine shop guys, all the really hardcore internal engine stuff. Most of those guys don't display at SEMA or at um, damn. Now I'm escaping the other show that's in that's in Vegas at the same time. What the hell is it? Not AERA. Uh, Damn. Well, one of y'all maybe knows. For whatever reason, it's escaping me. But that other show at SEMA that has all the gaskets and OE water pumps and all that stuff. There's another separate show that happens in Vegas at the same time. I very rarely get over there. I'm going to try to get over there this year because I'll shoot a little video over there. Maybe I'll do a live stream over there one day. I think I will. The plan is to go over there. I just haven't been over there in quite a few years. Just want to see how it is here the year after COVID, if it's smaller as well, like SEMA is. Um, but uh, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see, um, how small that show is. But again, like I said, PRI is the really cool show. SEMA gets all the press. PRI gets all the racers. So it's a much better show. That happens in December. It was in Orlando for a few years, but Indianapolis has been its home for, well, quite a number of years, and that is a really cool show. That's about, well, 45 days away, something like that. I normally go to that show every year, but I may have a conflict, family conflict, that's going to keep me from going. And if that happens, I'm going to be supremely disappointed because the PRI show is the one to go to. I have live stream videos from that from 2019, the last year of that show. If you want to go check those out, so you can see what manufacturers are there, and the celebrities are different. I guess I hate to say that. Well, I guess they are celebrities, but the celebrities are different there. All the drag race folks, the some F1 kart. Formula Drift, not really my thing, but those drivers are usually always there. Indianapolis has a lot of race teams that are there in town. John Force Racing, uh, Schumacher's got a big complex there, campus there with a lot of buildings and a lot of stuff there. So it's really the home a lot of those places. So kind of a cool deal. But Indianapolis by far, even though it's cold in Indianapolis that time of year, it's still by far the best show. So check those links out to those videos, live stream videos I did from, like I said, 2019. I don't know if that's a show that I SEMA as well. I haven't shot live video at either one of those. I usually try to do video after the fact, and just trying to catch it when people want to watch it, type of thing. But yeah, SEMA's the glitz and the glam of Las Vegas, and gets all the media attention. PRI is where all the fun stuff happens, as far as I'm concerned anyway. The truck accessory guys probably, they're not there. The car audio stuff's not at PRI. Um, the lift kit companies, the suspension companies, the tire and wheel companies, all of the manufacturers that do, internal engine stuff that's like OE, they don't represent that type of product there. Like Molly Pistons will be there, Molly Aftermarket will be there, Molly Motorsports will be there at PRI, but they're not there to talk about, factory water pumps for a Camry. They're there to talk about race pistons and race products. So all the, Keith Dorton and all those big time engine builders are always there at that show. It makes it really, really fun to talk to a really high caliber racing community. So enough of that, but I love that show. So if you want to look at those videos, for sure check it out. If I can't make it to PRI this year, absolutely watch some of those live stream videos from that show. Middle of December. I can't remember the dates, but it's usually always it's the last show of the year for us. But middle of December. But yeah. So anyway, look at the chat here. See if you guys. Da, da, da. Yeah, SEMA's. Yeah, here's the interesting thing about SEMA is it is a trade only show. So they don't let people in off the streets to go in and attend the show because it's a business show. They're there. We're there to talk, product and pricing and distribution and make commitments for inventory and all that for the coming year. However, I'll have to verify this, but I saw something from some of the folks on the councils and networks talking that SEMA is going to open up either this year or starting next year. The Friday of the trade show will be open to the general public, so you can go in the building without the credentials that you normally need to get in there. And it'll be open to the public, so you can go visit all those manufacturers, see all of those things if you want to go down there. And then Friday night, SEMA started a deal 5, 6 years ago called SEMA Ignited, where Friday night, when the show closes, it's all hands on deck to pack up booths and get cars out of there and all that. Well, the first thing they do is move vehicles out. They don't move any of the freight in, they don't move any of the containers or anything in there. The cars get pushed out of there first. And so SEMA started a deal, SEMA Ignited, which you probably have seen or maybe have seen a video on that where all the cars drive out that were inside the building that you didn't get to see all week unless it was on a TV show or whatever. That's a cool deal because it's just a constant couple, 3, 4 hour parade of just cars going out of that deal. And then now instead of them just leaving, they're taking them to another location where it's a car show at night. So, from 6 to midnight or something like that, all the cars that were in the show are out in a parking lot somewhere. I don't know where that's at. I've only attended it once. It's usually because I'm busy helping tear down a booth somewhere or help somebody do something in there to get the hell out of the convention center. But yeah, I'll have to look back at that. But I'm sure on Instagram or in the community tab, or maybe I'll do a video here talking about when that's available to the public. It may be this year. I don't know. I haven't looked into it that well. So. Well, it's not invite only, but you have to be in the industry. So a shop, warehouse distributor for all the products that are in the industry. There's quite a few of those throughout the country that you've got manufacturers that make it, then they sell it to distributors. Distributors sell it out to smaller shops because they can get into more geographical areas. Like a manufacturer like Holley is a good example. They're in Bowling Green, Kentucky, but they've got some distribution there. But if they were to ship only, well, they do sell direct to the public primarily now, um, but if they were just to ship only from Bowling Green, Kentucky, it's 3 days to the West Coast and a day and a half, 2 days maybe to the East Coast or certain parts of the country where when they sell to a warehouse distributor, those distributors are all over the country, Texas, California, Washington State, East Coast, Colorado, you name it, they're all over the place. So they'll buy from those manufacturers. Those manufacturers will ship pallets of product to their distribution points, and then those distributors sell to the auto parts stores, the small shop repair shops, the body shops, the machine shops that buy that type of product. So the distribution network works really well for a manufacturer because they don't have to try to sell to the public. Well, that's who all attends the show. Everyone that's in that distribution channel. So that's what it's traditionally been. But I've always said SEMA should open up Friday of the show because it's the slowest day of the show for manufacturers. And if you re-energized it, and then Tuesday's always the busiest day, and then it gets progressively slower throughout the week for attendance. If you did that and open Friday up to the general public, where anybody could come in with credentials, of course, they'll make you fill that out, just certainly because they just want to know who's in there, I think. But that'll be a good thing to have anybody be able to show up to the show, because then you can see all the new product, put your hands on stuff, talk to the manufacturers, talk to directly to, folks that are there to give you technical information about the product, and, certainly see all the cars. And I'm sure they'll have more celebrities that'll end up showing up for that day, because the celebrities, they feed off of people just seeing them. So anyway, little inside information about SEMA and all that. So, oh, let's see here. I guess I don't have to hide my Mountain Dew. So, all right. Well, that's really everything I had. I'm gonna get this thing. I was gonna say get it soaking, but I'm gonna knock it the rest of the way down, get the choke vacuum housing pod off, and wipe it down and put it back together. So, not that bad of a. I'm sure everybody's had one of these series. Well, it used to be the 1850. Now there's this Street Warrior version, or whatever the heck Holley calls it. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm sure everybody's had one of these before. And they're good carburetors. They work really well. They do drink fuel a little bit aggressively, but that's the design of the carburetor, where the Edelbrock's a little bit more sips it a little bit slower than the way the Holley tends to guzzle it. But it's one of the reasons why Holleys make good power. So, but anyway, I think that's it. Like I said, I just wanted to cover a little bit about what was going on this week for SEMA. So Sunday live stream, maybe 1 o'clock Pacific time. I'm not sure I'll do one on Monday. I may go Apex. Man, Apex is the name of the other show that's in Las Vegas that same week as SEMA. Damn, just totally drew a blank till I started talking about that. But I will go to the Apex show one day. Like I said, it's not that exciting. There's no Apex is in a smaller venue, so they don't allow a lot of vehicles in there. As a matter of fact, I don't think there's any vehicles they allow in there. And it's all, like I said, just the repair parts and the service reparts, and not the exciting stuff. So, Coolant and Prestone and Mobile One, and the boring stuff, not the fun fluids and oils and all of the other stuff that you see at the SEMA show. Apex has all the other stuff. So, but, well, let me check chat one more time here. I think that's everybody. So hopefully I got everybody's questions in there. Hope the audio is good tonight. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to Vegas, and getting back to SEMA, and getting some normal activity in my life again, and everybody's life. And I think that's the most important thing about SEMA. Even though there's 1,000 less booths this year, and fewer people that will be there, is just getting back to normal, and we got to do that. So the world needs to keep spinning. We need to keep going around. So I guess we'll see what Squirter was in here. But so yeah, that's really what I'm looking forward to about SEMA this year, is just getting to see some people again that I haven't seen in a year or 2 years, and seeing some new products and new people, and just still got a 31 in it. So if he's done anything with this thing, it's stock. So, but yeah, I'm just looking forward to all that and getting back to normal again. So anyway, we'll see you guys next Sunday on the live stream from Las Vegas, Nevada. And yeah, should be should be a good week. Even I may go do some other things that week that I haven't normally done. Like I said, the show is supposed to be a lot smaller, fewer amount of people there. So for me, it's less time that I'll need to be spend there at the show. But I'll dedicate a good, two and a half full days there, and then I think Thursday evening I'll probably make my flight out. I won't do the banquet this year. I'll just get the heck out of there and get back home and start putting video together. So cool. Alrighty. Well, it looks like folks are dropping off, which is good. Didn't want this to be too long tonight. I just wanted to be a little bit of. Yeah, we're in an hour, so I was kind of hoping this would be about a 30-minute deal. Just tell you what I was doing and get this thing torn apart to force me to put it back together because I told him I'd give it back to him before Saturday of this week or this coming week. Well, this week. Today's Sunday, so we're in the new work week. So, but anyway, we will see you guys at SEMA next week, and yeah, we'll do a couple of really good live streams out there, and I'll leave a post. So if there's anything you guys want to see out there, or any questions you have about SEMA, I'm always open to answer any of those. Like I said, it'll be my 25th year of going, so I can't believe that I'm that old to have been there for 20 or gone for 25 years. Kind of ridiculous, but anyway, I hope you guys have a good week, and we will see you from Las Vegas, Nevada. Alrighty, guys, we'll see you.